Peace, everyone. How are you? How is everyone doing? How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're having an awesome. What's today? Wednesday, hump day. Hopefully, you guys are having an awesome hump day. But we are live again. Let me get Fitzgerald on here. Here he goes. There we go. Fitzgerald.
Hey, Prince.
What's up? We are live, Fitzgerald. We're live.
I see.
Yeah. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share and subscribe. Also, make sure you guys go to dynastymirror.com. Again, go to dynastymirror.com. While you're there, get the classic book, everybody. Sales Motivation 101. Get off your you-know-what and cold call. While you're there, also, please become a part of our Patreon. Patreon.com, search for Huru. Again, Patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Without further ado, I have my brother on with us, Mr. Fitzgerald Stevens. Again, I have my brother on with us, Mr. Fitzgerald Stevens. And today's topic is, I was reading an article earlier this morning on why gold can go up to about $5,000. $5,000. Why gold can hit $5,000 and soon. It took a little bit of a dip. It's I think right now it's at like 1950, but some are saying that it can go up to $5,000 soon. So, Joe, now I know you always tell the story of when you first started with Karatbars back in 2016. Am I correct?
15.
15. Where was gold at per ounce?
$1,100 an ounce.
Okay, now it's approaching 2,000.
Yeah, it did actually break 2,000. I think it was one time, it's like 2007, 8. It came back, came back down, but where it landed is still a very, very good price point for those who invested in it.
Yeah, but they're saying now that it could possibly rally to 5,000. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, for sure?
Do you think it's very possible? Do you think it would be before or after the presidential election?
I would say after.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking about that.
Why do you think after, for sure?
The debt load is simply too crushing. No, people around the world. Well, let's just use this country. People around the United States, they know about the fact that inflation is really rocking not only their dollars and their purchasing power, but it's also dwindling their 401ks. Mm-hmm. A lot of retirement instruments that are tied to the stock market. A lot of their wealth has been extracted. Is simply just taking too many of the dollars to purchase the same amount of materials that it used to, with no end in sight. Man, we haven't even talked about the derivatives market. They just talk about the derivative markets. That's like a dang global tsunami waiting to happen. A lot of things that we're seeing that this cash is wreaking havoc on our economy, on the global economy, and people are looking to divorce themselves from that as fast as they can. And the more they divest out of cash and look into assets like gold and silver and palladium, other type of precious metals, particularly gold is what we primarily talk about. It's only going to drive the value of that in more because it's going to be scarce of supply. I know there's gold in the ground, but it takes a lot to mine that stuff up. I'm talking about what's available right now. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a rush on that, and simply supply and demand demand is going to increase the supply. So you're not gonna lose by holding gold at all. Matter of fact, you want to hold gold, get as much gold as you can, as fast as you can, and hold it as long as you can. Don't sell it. No, because it is I'm not going to say the new money. It's always been money, but it's going to go back to recognize as a standard of currency around the world, because people are going to probably look at ways like, hey, why do I want to take paper money? Why do I want to take worthless paper? No difference from a man constantly renting an apartment. Mm-hmm. Constant renting an apartment. To comes a time, when you work yourself in a position and the question that starts you working in a position like, why am I paying for another guy's property? Right. Why am I just doing nothing but collecting a bunch of rent receipts when I can go ahead and be putting this in something to me that I can build equity for me and my children? So the same thing. Why am I collecting this worthless paper? this paper that's constantly keep going down. I work so hard with my labor, and then I put it in this, in this paper right there, and it just keeps going down in value. But the amount of energy and amount of work I have to do, remains the same. And why would I want to keep doing this? Why don't I put my money in an instrument that's going to grow my wealth? I mean, you don't have to be an economist. You don't have to be a financial planner to understand that. No, I mean, and that's why it's going to go, and it's going to keep going up. When you see a guy like Warren Buffett,
right? I'm going to bring that up.
When you see a guy like Warren Buffett divest from his shares of Goldman Sachs, look at some of those Class A shares that he had from Goldman Sachs that he bought on the low back in the 2008 debacle, because Goldman Sachs needed an infusion of cash. And he was one of those guys that he was able to have the money to do it. And and for a while they have wanted those shares back. They were like, hey man, please give us this stuff back. Buffett won't release it. JP Morgan Chase, one of the most powerful financial institutions in this country, he also held a good portion of that. Now, so he takes that money and he divests out of it, and he immediately transfers it into Barrick Gold, a gold mining company, about maybe 13 plus mines all over the world, based out of Toronto, Ontario. Now, why would a guy who's worth $80 billion, who has an impeccable record as an investor, dang near genius type level investor, and it's easily something like in his late 70s and stuff, a billionaire is many times over, known to create wealth. I mean, you're talking about a man that you have to spend, if you win a free lunch with him, it's like $100,000. The lunch with him about like $100,000. If you're accepted, just to sit down and pick his brain. Why would a man like that, who doesn't need the money and whose company Berkshire Hathaway is rock solid financial, very diverse and very diverse in their investments, why would he all of a sudden get out of paper and go into gold? That's exactly what he did. He got out of paper to go into gold, which is what we're talking about. So, he by far has a whole lot more investment savvy than I myself and anybody else who listen to the sound of my voice on this stream. So you need to look at what the wealthy are doing, their primary call of the wealthy planners, including Ray Dialgo. Look him up. He's another investor, particularly with hedge funds. Very successful with that, billionaire himself. They're saying, get out of cash as fast as you can. That's what the billionaires are saying. Get out of cash as fast as you can. Billionaires and millionaires, they're not in the business of losing money.
Right.
They don't do that. So we have to look at what those guys are doing, and maybe get to consider, going a similar path if we want to ensure our wealth. Because the middle class, they can't. It's tough for them to recover from losses like that. And I personally believe it's not going to be a middle class. I believe the middle class is what we're going to consider millionaires.
Expand on that for sure. I think people really need to hear this, and you need to.
There's not going to be a such thing. I had this conversation. Many years ago with my wife. I said, hey, baby, it's going to come a time. There's not going to be a middle class. You're either going to be rich or you're going to be poor. That was way before this stuff happened. You're going to be rich or you're going to be poor, because you look at the debt load, you look at the steady increases of goods and services, you look at the trade imbalances. Particularly like the manufacturing has pretty much shifted to China. I know President Trump is trying to bring it back to the United States, but the Chinese make it dang near impossible for anyone to really compete with their labor costs, which is the biggest part of your expenses when you're in business. You have to pay for the labor. Well, China can charge much lower labor costs. So can Mexico, and so if United States guys for a manufacturing job, they say, hey, we want $30 to $45 an hour, maybe 25. Chinese like, man, we ain't hearing that. We can do this for $1.13 an hour. Who are you going to go to if you have a business? And you get a ship back here. That's the nature of business. So China has created several thousand billionaires. Those guys are coming over here in Canada and in England and other parts of the world,
Buying up everything.
buying up every dang thing. Why do you think that is? Because the yin is flooded with cash because they've moved the manufacturing base up there and they've taken that from the world. And so we're looking at that. Said, well, T Cell says African can't compete. How are they going to compete? But what the most Africa have? Most of the guys over there, the European conglomerates over there. You tell me one nation besides Rwanda that I can think of with Paul Kagame, that really has a lot of industries centered over there. Maybe Ethiopia, but the manufacturers, the manufacturers over there are most of the European conglomerates. It's some American conglomerates, but you show me one Africans, the African nation that really, hey, we got 100% control of that. 100% control of our manufacturer with our people and our base, even Nigeria, which should have it, but they don't. So no, Africa cannot compete on the current scales right now. If they could compete, China wouldn't be coming over there flooding them out. They wouldn't. They could compete. A lot of other people wouldn't be going in there. The IMF wouldn't be having a field day doing crazy loans and getting resources. No, they cannot compete. Not on the current system they are right now. No, because they're not united. No, so that is that. Then they're talking about that, but meanwhile, other countries are coming in taking vast control of their resources. Hell, Belgium been doing that with the Democratic Republic of Congo, which that wasn't his name. They've been doing that for centuries. Congo alone, Congo alone is the richest country on earth by none. And probably followed by a close second, not an African country, but it's Afghanistan. Afghanistan has close to $1 trillion in mineral wealth there. Now, Afghanis are not running it. I mean, they have war over there right now, so no, they can't compete. Now, but China is very, very well organized as far as with their manufacturing base, and Mexico is another one. I mean, they you don't hear much about them, but they're very, very well organized. And here's going to be a sleeper. Far as if they really get their head up the wrap around the manufacturing base that can be just as powerful. That's going to be the nation of India. Look for India about 5 years ago to be one of the top 5 economies in the world. They're going to be an economic superpower because they're bringing all their stuff back there. They've learned the British game and American game. Like, hey man, we can develop our places over here. So manufacturing is the backbone of commerce within any nation, but manufacturers people have to be paid, and so we're in the United States, not unless we're prepared for a drastic reduction in the quality of life and the quality of living, which I think could possibly easily happen. Not possibly, I know it could happen. Your middle class is going to be your millionaires because goods and services are still going to go up. You're looking at the multi-billionaires right now increasing their wealth. I've already given an example how Elon Musk of earlier this year, but the Tesla Corporation, he's about worth $35 billion. Tesla's, he's up close to $80 billion. This is since March to now, $80 billion. Right. Walmart's profits up 100%. Target's profits up 80%. Lowe's profits up 75%. No, I mean, Amazon profits up 100%. Those all manufacturers. Yet we see jobs getting lost. And so when we're talking about gold, $5,000 easily, and it's going to surprise people. I think what it's going to do is it's going to start going back up, maybe a little bit slow, and then something's going to happen. Or we just one major calamity economic point down, and then something's going to happen. It's going to take off like a rocket fuel, and it's going to go up. And then the more it goes up, the less valuable cash is going to be.
All right.
No. So when we're here at Karatbars, we're saying, hey man, get out of paper. Get out of paper. Then Prince Amir had to get they just trying to sell something. Well, stay in cash. Keep doing what you're doing. We cool. I mean, but if you're looking at the markets and you're looking at common sense and you're looking at the get rid of defaults on mortgages with foreclosures. You're looking at the evictions. You're looking at manufacturings around this country are moving. Now they're playing the game state to state. They're playing going state to state. Like the number one growing economy, you know, for our state wise is Texas. Okay, the Texas has no state income taxes. A lot of Californians are getting out there. A lot of people coming out there. Good business climate here in Florida. The same thing. You know, Tennessee. Now, what do these guys have in common? No state income taxes. Lower taxes. So if you're saying Americans first, but if prices keep rising in disproportion with what weight in disproportion of what wages are rising, it'll make a difference. I mean, you're still going to be priced out the market. And so this is just you. We also have to consider our children and the grandchildren. What type of legacy going to be for them? No, what type of thing do we have for them? Do you think it's going to be easier for them to get a job or more difficult than it is for you? You think college tuition is going to be cheaper or more expensive? You know, you think jobs are going to be more plentiful, or maybe they're going to become much more higher specialized now. But I tell you one thing that's going to be growing off the hip, and it's going to be going off the rip, and much more in ration of job creation. I think a lot of job creation is going to entrepreneurship. You know, that's what I think, and I think there's going to be a lot of programs out there to help the entrepreneur to build business, because they're going to look at the entrepreneurs as the new way of creating jobs for the other people who are not. Like I said, you're either going to be wealthy or you're going to be poor. There is no middle ground. No, and so any city. I lived in Atlanta, the Prince Amir's town. I lived there from 1997 to 2011. I mean, you want to see a wealth gap? You go to Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
I mean, a staggering wealth gap. Now, you want, I mean, you could, I mean, it's incredible. Well, I can show you the same thing down here in Tampa. But the wealthy, the wealthy people, they're saving assets, ladies and gentlemen. They're saving their gold. They're getting their silver. They're getting their real estate. They're getting out of cash. They're putting it in palladium, and they're buying crazy paintings. Well, it keeps going up. They're playing the real estate game, buying a house, flip it over to another house without having to pay the gains on it. Just keep rolling in, and they're increasing their wealth. They're not sitting on a whole bunch of cash. Cash should basically primarily the things that cash should be regulated for the most part. All its purpose is to get it, to get it, and to park it in the asset. Or maybe keep a little bit in your checks to pay some bills and all that, but you want to be acquiring, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, gold, and real estate and things. You want to be acquiring assets, and that's gold. Gold has to absorb all that fiat currency, and that's what's going to make it so much valuable, Prince. That was a long answer, but it's
that's not a long answer. I mean, that's the answer to that.
Once again, we haven't even spoken about the derivatives market. Look up derivatives once we end this stream.
Okay.
And look at the catastrophe with just the derivative markets get called, the markers get called back in. So it's about asset accumulation, and there, the United States as well as the world, we're on financial quicksand. We have to get prepared for that. The Bible talks about a one world currency, and I assure you, it won't be cash. You have to have some way to facilitate trades and services. So I facilitate for goods and services. I personally think it's going to be some form of digitalized. It look like everything. If it me showing me that it's moving to that, but nevertheless, land. You want to get your land secure. But first of all, get you a piece of ground that you own.
All right.
Preferably get you a couple of pieces of ground that you own where you can sell that. Get you some land in other countries. Have an exit plan. Prince Don Samir put in my head, and he's absolutely right. I don't know why I didn't see it. I guess we didn't talk about things like that much as we did. But he said, basically, people should have. He said, basically every black person throughout the world should have an African plan. In other words, you should have something where you're looking, okay, I maybe look at moving citizenship. I got a piece of ground over there. I got dual citizenship. It's going to be a matter of survival. So So, and then it's just something I'm very passionate about because I've seen what poverty does. I've seen what it destroys. There's nothing good that comes out of poverty. Nothing good that comes out of lack of resources. Somebody get up there and they'll probably say, well, it made me better, and and I wouldn't have learned. Okay, okay, write a rap song about that. There's nothing. What I see about poverty, children going to bed hungry, elderly can't get medicine. People being put out on the street, hospitals rolling you out there, sent you in the cold. Like I saw one time before, families being divided, can't be properly educated, subject to all types of health issues because you're not getting nourishment properly, which also helps in decrease in concentration, which means lower scores and which means lower avenues of employment and stuff. I've never seen any good thing come out of poverty. So when someone tells me poverty is next to holiness, man, that's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. And so I have a hatred of poverty, and but you have to learn the money game, and I assure you, your school system is not going to teach it to you. They're going to teach you the employment game, how to get up and get skills necessary to make someone else wealthy, how to work in their wealth system as to create your own. But yeah, gold is going to hit that, Prince, and probably even higher, man. Probably even higher. No, from what I'm seeing. And to Mr. T-Cell, once again, you put in bold letters, African can compete. I'm simply saying to you, no, they cannot with the current scale they have now. That's why they're being dominated. That's why everyone else is coming in there as far as with the European powers who have been there for centuries. But let's just talk about right now. That's why they're coming down there. They can't compete when they're sitting there interested in taking the Chinese loans for the resources. They can't compete, when Royal Dutch Shell is developing resources that they can't. What is it? Gosh, think. The largest producer of cocoa in the world. Cote d'Ivoire, or Abidjan, cities.
I'm sorry, Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire. Well, that's where Sir Abidjan is. In the world. I would venture Nestle's has a whole stranglehold on the economy that's nothing unreal. But it's in Cote d'Ivoire on the west coast of Africa. So why Nestle? Why a French conglomerate is running in there? Wouldn't someone over in that region who is African, shouldn't they have the chocolate company? Ethiopia produces some of the most outstanding coffee. Who controls it? Belgium, Belgium extracted billions upon billions ever since the day of that monster King Leopold out of Democratic Republic of Congo, including rubber and stuff like that. Who controls most of their economy down there? Antwerp in Belgium. So this is what I'm saying. What we would like to see and what the reality is two different things. The reality is this. As Mr. Delco said, we have got to get laser serious about the economy of our own home. We really do. I mean, if we don't get serious about that, we are regulating ourselves and our descendants to to financial slavery. It's just really that simple. That's why we talk about Karatbars. That's why we talk about saving assets, putting your business plan together, leveraging your income, creating residual incomes, creating wealth streams, different type of wealth streams, like Mr. Delco says, operating on a global scale where you're not just limited to your particular neighborhood, your particular country, where you can grow wealth, I don't know if you guys knew it, but I don't know if you guys realized yesterday Mr. Delco came on there. I assure you he wasn't flossing. I've known the man since 1998. You guys see that gold Grammy he had around his neck?
Yeah, around his neck.
Well, yeah. You see that, the $5 gold thing? I assure you, that's not the majority of his assets. And so with people like that, they come on there talking like Zen masters and stuff like that. Mr. Delco, and his family and his grandchildren, they're all set by work that he did, and he's currently doing right now. So we sit around there and listen to him like maybe, hey, I'm going to Spain, I'm going to this like that. But I assure you, he is a consummate businessman. And businessmen think, okay, first, let me grow my wealth for me and my family first. Let me produce something and let me create ongoing residuals. You've got to save in gold. You got to save in gold, or you have to save in an asset. Karatbars does gold. We save in gold, and we take our cash and allow that to appreciate, and we put it into gold, which is an appreciating asset. We take our cash, allow our cash to appreciate. Cash can only appreciate when it's transferred into assets. If you hold it or you don't transfer it to anything, it's going to go down. Now, sure, it's simply because of the inflation quadrant. We tell other people, help them set up their gold savings account. Help them set up their free business. Get paid a percentage when they produce, and when the people who they talk to do produce. We're able to leave wealth streams and assets to our children, thus perpetuating generational wealth. We're able to take advantage of the tax breaks. We're able to build businesses. Around. We're able to have several streams of income. You hear about how Mr. Delco, Prince Amir was talking about. Hey, I'm looking at Accra, Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, because he's hearing things about Ghana. Here's the difference between a lot of people. Mr. Delco, he can make it happen today if he wanted to.
Right.
He can make it happen today. Right. I mean, he could shift his whole organization of 90-something thousand affiliates, and he can operate just as smooth and just as good out of from Accra than he could over there in Georgia. Now, what we say? Why was he saying like that? Because he was like, he was saying like, hey, well, I'm seeing some issues right here. I'm looking at some things I don't like. What he's saying, like, as a melanated man, we're looking at police shootings. We're looking at, man, someone's like, oh, dude, I ain't interested in dealing with that no more. Let me take my resources and get the heck out of here. Prince Amir said a show about black intellectuals looking like there's going to be a brain drain back to Africa, and I'm inclined to agree with it. But in the meantime, if you're going to pull that off, if you're going to pull that off, we have to get resources on to pull it off, Prince Amir. So that's what Karatbars is. We save a lot of gold. We tell a lot of people. We make a lot of money, according to our senior founder, Mr. Ty Best, the creator of Wealth Builders. What is it? What you're doing? Well, you're just registering your account. You register your account. It's there's no cost to join. You register that by clicking onto Prince Amir's link at the bottom. No, it takes you about 7 minutes. You get an email from Karatbars. You click on that to verify your account. Instantly, you have your own home-based business that operates in 149 countries, whose product is gold and other asset producing items that you run from a cell phone or computer. Let me explain that to you. If you're going to get a business, which you will have with that in 7 minutes, you don't have to get a building. You don't have to go down to the city and call the utility companies and leave big time deposits for the water and electric and stuff. You don't have to go down there to the city and get a license, the occupancy license to operate. You don't. Right. All those things cost money. You don't have to go and find your employees and agree to pay them a certain salary. You're able to run a global business with no employees, just you. That eliminates payroll taxes. You're able to make just as much, if not more, income than what you're doing currently, going out there working now, just by empowering others, just by showing other people how to build wealth through saving in gold. Also, but by purchasing one of the business packages, anywhere from a VIP to a gold to a silver to a bronze, you can get yourself where you're making income once a week. 5 times a month, easily, getting paid in euros and still saving your gold. Your assets are still going up, and you still have your gold that you're saving that you can operate, far as for living and things. And so we find it to be very viable, especially if you don't have a whole bunch of money running around that you can actually dump into something. But if you had a whole bunch of money running around, you still would look to ways to create residual income. You will look for more income stream. And if you had a whole bunch of money lying around, I assure you, it's not going to be sitting in the bank, talking to someone saying like you got 50 million and 27 million. Nah, you're not going to have that in the bank. You're going to have that in resource. You're going to have that in assets. You're going to have that money out there making money. That money is going to be working for you. No, and because you do know banks only sure about like an FDIC, they only sure about like $250,000 of your deposits. No, so you have anything over that, well, that can be lost in cash. No, I mean, no people are not going to keep they're spending their lives and their energy working hard for their money only to have it at risk of someone taking it. It's being taken through taxation. It's being taken through the stock market. Stock market's not a guarantee. It used to be a time where pensions were guaranteed. They took that away, as Mr. Delco alluded to. It said yesterday they took that away. Now it's more of that is on your own self. 401ks, health savings, Roths, all those kind of things. A lot of those are tied to the production of the stock market. So is it so hard that you're working hard for your money? You want someone to gamble with your life? That's yours. No, that is yours. So you really need to look out there. How do we create income streams apart from the job? That's what Karatbars do. That's what we come on the show. That's what we have been talking about over a year, and that's what Prince Dinas, Amir, and I are doing, and many of our partners are doing, because we realize, man, we can't keep doing the same thing. I talk to professional people, ladies and gentlemen. I talk to very successful people who have very successful careers. And talk to them about this business. All of them agree it makes sense. Now, whether it's for them at that time, some yes, some no, but it all makes sense. Everybody knows we need to get out of cash. Everybody knows that. Yesterday I was on the bike trail. You guys often hear about that. That's my stress reliever. That's the way I work out. And I happen to struck up a conversation with people, because all you gotta do is open your mouth. And so we got to talking, and he said, hey, University of Florida shirt on, and I told, well, I'm Bama grad, and so we had a little camaraderie and told about what year we came out, and then it got back to the real meat of it. What do you do? He said, I'm a pharmacist. I said, man, you look awfully young to accomplish something like that. Especially a doctorate. So, and I said, let me ask you something. He said, I told, well, I set up gold savings accounts, and I'm in cryptocurrency. So really, because people are hearing about this. So man, I'm really interested in that. That's great. I'll just go ahead and send you my business link, and I text him where he can look at the realmoney.info, and I text my link where he can sign up into the business. I can follow up with it later on today. But my point, people are looking. Well, pharmacists, some of those guys can make $150,000, $120,000, $170,000 a year. People are looking, but just because you make that money, as your money go up, so do your expenses. No, he had three children, and one of them was there with him. I could tell he's doing well, but nevertheless, the point of the matter is he was looking. Now, some people might think that's intimidating. Some people may be intimidated to go out there and ask your local physician, or your attorney, or the accountant, or the business owner. Some of you guys got that, man. They wouldn't think about this. They wouldn't want to do this. This is a $180 billion a year business, industry rather. We're referral-based marketing. They're all looking for money. They're all looking, because you know what? If those guys see what's happening too, and it just so happened, Prince Amir, that he looked at his wife. His wife looked back at him, because I was breaking my spiel about the Federal Reserve and talking about, fractional reserve lending. They looked at each other. Yeah, we were just talking about this. Mm-hmm. Now, so don't think that people don't want what you have. Your job is just to ask someone. You can ask them simply this: you look for ways to make money. I was talking to a guy on the internet, on Facebook, asking the same thing. How's business? Look for ways to make money. And he turned back and threw something on me. Was doing with Bitcoin. I said, well, I'm cool with what I'm doing right now. But nevertheless, we're both out there hustling in the new economy. Gold, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, all these things. This is where it's going. Notice I said assets, gold, silver, real estate, Fabergé eggs, paintings. All that. Yeah, Russian Fabergé eggs. You familiar with those things?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and South African Cougar Rand, that's a gold bullion coin equivalent to the golden eagle of the United States. Well, notice when I said that, notice that cash wasn't on that list because cash is not an asset. I don't care how much you have it. It's not an asset. It only becomes an asset when you put it into something that's going up in value. That's the whole structure of what we do in Karatbars. We choose gold in small gram increments, everywhere from a 1 gram to a 2.5 gram card to a 5 gram card. Even something as small as this, even something a 0.1 gram. That's gold right there. You want this. You really want this. If you want to live, build your teams, build your network, because the wealthiest people in the world own network. What do you think Amazon, the corporation, is?
Distribution center.
Distribution center. Jeff Bezos' personal network distribution center. It's a little wonder he's worth $180 billion. What do you think Microsoft is, or eBay?
Distribution center.
What do you think? What do you think? Why do you think the Walton family is so wealthy? Each one of the Waltons are darn near close to like 25 billion a piece, and it's about a 5 of them, 25 billion a piece. Had Mr. Sam Walton been living, he would easily be the wealthiest man in the world, bar none. He split his fortune and got that. What do you think it is? Go in the Walmart store, picture in your mind, you're walking down the store, you will see different brands, different manufacturing putting their stuff on Walmart shelves. Walmart is a distribution center. It's a network center. So when you go in there, they get a charge for everything. Now that's what you do. You build your own global digital gold-based network. And so every time someone decides to set a business up, every time someone decides to acquire gold through your network, you get a percentage of that.
Right.
That's really simple. Why gold? Why not? What's the worst going to happen? I'm not going to go bad with having gold in my portfolio. You know, even if I don't want to build a distribution center, I still want to have the gold. I can make it possible where I can earn free gold. So I'm not going to go wrong by having an asset class. You know, I'm not going to go wrong by getting my cash and my paper into an asset. You know, and the thing I like about this, you know, this is small enough that I could go somewhere and get someone this for goods and services. They'll take it. It's like I don't have to carry a kilo block of gold around and chip a little bit off. You know, we can use these small little things like that. We create a business around this, ladies and gentlemen, in 149 countries. Run it using a cell phone or a computer. No minimums, no maximums. And Prince Amir and I had a conversation, and we'll let you in on it. You know, we'll let you in on our private conversation. We were reluctant to use the word free, because sometimes you hear free, you know, like you get a free Facebook account, you get a free thing. It almost like it cheapens a thing. People like you free. Yeah, but I want to use, there is no cost to set up your own business with this. Once you do it, you get a business package and you get to work because you're awarded on your production. And that's what you do. You know, like that man that came on in, Mr. Delco, I'm not going to get in his income. But he don't worry about $30 light bill, I can assure you. No. Listen to the conversation. Listen to the cities he's popping off. Yeah, I was told, yeah, I got this in over in Dubai. Yeah, I'm sitting over there eating up McDonald's over there in Madrid, Barcelona. You know. Yeah, you know, I was walking down the street over there in Stuttgart, Germany. Oh yeah, that happened when I was in South Africa. Listen to how he's throwing these things off. No, I've known the man since 1998. I knew him way before he was at that level there. But he just made a decision to get started. And now as a part of his decision by building his network and helping other people become free, you know, he's free and helped a lot of other people get free. And that's all simple that what Dinas Amir is trying to offer to you, his listeners.
Right.
You know, that's how he gets free. And so with wealth and the gap is going to grow larger, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to grow larger globally. It's going to grow large globally. So it would be quite irresponsible for me to sit around there and see a problem that's coming that has life altering implications if I don't do anything about it and don't and don't make a decision to build something of my own that I own. That I can protect myself from financial disaster. Make no doubt about it. It's going to be. No, it's going to be. And as you get older or as you pass a certain age, it becomes more precarious. I mean, next September 8th, I'm 56 years old. If let me say, if I give a company 14 years right now, I'm 70. Work until I'm 70. Right. I'll know. Right now, I just want to enjoy my time, but and put something together and be able to travel and do stuff like that. Well, I got to build something that allows me to do that. I got to figure out a way to make money while I sleep. I got to figure out a way to empower other people. And that's what we do at Karatbars. As once again, as Mr. Best said, save a lot of gold, tell a lot of people, make a lot of money. Okay. So I guess Dynas, you remember when I said, man, I was talking about the dreams. I was saying, why are you doing this? Remember I said how we usually go logical and everything. Right. Well, evidently that's the way our audience wants us to go, because I saw one stream that's like, hey, what is it? Get to the point. Okay, here's the point. What you want to do is you want to acquire a business package. No, you don't have to buy. You don't have to. It's not required, but you want one. No, but some lady, as said, so they're just selling package. Well, that's some chick don't know what she's talking about. Don't know my business. I won't interfere with yours. You don't interfere with mine. If I don't want to know about your business and I don't know it, I'll listen to you. Okay. So I really don't have time for stupid comments like that. So if you're going to get in business and if you was to go to set up a McDonald's, okay. Do you just say, hey, will they let you do it for free, first of all?
No.
Simple question. Will they let you do it for free? Chick-fil-A, no. Burger Kings, Five Guys in the burgers, or any other restaurant franchise model around there. They're going to want you to have skin in the game. Okay. But that gives you to operate under a successful banner of people, of a system. And that's all you're buying is a system that is proven to produce wealth. Ray Kroc started this system when he dealt with the McDonald's Corporation, called a franchise model. Okay, so when you get one of your optional, and then I said optional, your optional business package, because you can make money once a month in the free position. When I say free position, meaning you don't have to get a package. It's not going to be nowhere near when someone has a business package like Prince Amir and myself or Mr. Delco, because the difference with us, while you're getting paid once a month, based on the production of your team, we're getting paid 5. And then based on the production of our team. So when you get a business packet, as Prince Amir has said, think of that as your own franchise. Okay. And you have a couple franchising levels. You have the VIP level. That's about 4,900 euros. That's what Prince Amir and I am. I have a business account, a VIP account, in both my personal account and business account. So I keep 2. Prince Amir has 2. One he actually won. Okay. Then you have the gold level, that business package. That's about 2,200 euros. Then you have the silver, which is about 595 euros. Then you have the bronze, which is about 180 euros. All of them are going to come with gold, and depending upon the laws of your nation, like say for instance, like the United States, that whole package is considered tax deductible. You can write the cost of that off on your taxes. I would check with my accountant, as far as to see how that can be done. But it is considered a business expense. So in the world of Karatbars, you have 2 teams and only 2 teams. You have a right team and a left team. Okay. And anytime with a business package, you're able to qualify to receive something called units. So anytime someone purchases gold, someone purchases the ATM machine, the blockchain computer, the blockchain phone, the specialty gold coins, packages, or whatever, you're going to get you're going to earn units based on what the amount of the purchase was. So when you and your team, or especially when your team and your team, they start getting production. Production means someone's buying something, someone's acquiring assets. Okay, you get a percentage of that. And so when you acquire 25 units on one team, let's say it's your left team, 50 units on your right team, or vice versa, you're going to get a payout based on the package you have. The reason Prince Amir and I are VIP, because that maximizes the compensation plan for us. So each and every time that happens, we receive a dual team payout of 80 euros. Every time that happens. Should you acquire a gold business package, 25 units on one team, 50 units on another team, once that is accomplished, you are going to receive a dual team payout of 60 euros. Okay. When you have a silver business package, 25 units on one team, 50 units on another team, you are going to receive a dual team payout of 50 euros. And when you have a bronze business package, 25 units on one team, 50 units on another team, you are going to receive a dual team payout of 40 euros, uploaded the following Friday on your MasterCard. That you can use this to take cash out of any machine that you want. If I'm in Nigeria, I put the cash machine in Lagos, it's going to give me Nigerian Naira. If I'm in Cape Town or Johannesburg, I go down there, it's going to give me South African Rand. If I'm in England, it's going to give me British Pound. If I'm in America, Ghana, Australia, Canada, it's going to give me dollars in proportion that country. The dollars are going to come out exchanged by way of the euro exchange rate. So you give yourself a raise. Like, for example, over here in the United States, but now I'm seeing 85 cents equals 1 euro. 1 euro is 85 cents in American dollars. So I given myself a raise just because of the currency exchange. No, and then so you also can receive many other ways of acquiring income. You can receive package bonus. 10% of every package you register. Personally, you get 10% of that package. So, for example, you're a silver, you register a VIP, 490 package. Guess what? You just got paid 490 euros just because someone else decided to set their business up. Plus, you're getting paid. Plus, you have an opportunity to get paid both in gold and euros, depending on the package you have. Plus, there are many other ways to make money, as far as with different bonuses, different mechanisms that allow you to pay. That's all. That gentleman who we saw with Mr. Delco, Mr. Delco, that gentleman has a global network that only he runs.
Right.
Because his wife has a network too. Only he runs. The reason why that man can sit up there and smile and everything like that. Well, he has a global network team of close to 95,000 affiliates doing it all over the world. I literally don't believe the sun ever sets on that man's business. I want to get to the part, but Prince Amir and I are doing the same thing. Well, good God, when he called me and that when he talked to me about a couple of years ago and asked me if I saw an opportunity, you better believe it. I did. It didn't take me long because I knew I didn't have nothing going. I knew I had to put something together. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a college grad. I'm a highly intelligent man. Very, very versed man and everything, but titles are not sexy, like Prince Amir said. Income is, because I was working in someone else's system, I didn't know about taxes. I didn't know about a lot of things. My wealth was being extracted. So by acquiring gold and start talking to people, the dynamic Prince Dynas Amir is a personal friend of mine, about 15 years. Well, he decided to get in, but going around in there and lo and behold, we start working. Well, as I said, with Mr. Delco, up 94,000, that phone call he made for me, I'm responsible about close to 12,000, those 94. Not a bad phone call. And I'm a small part of his team. There are many people who outsponsor me, but imagine that he has a conglomerate of all us together, or you have a conglomerate, all these people together, whether they're in Havana, Cuba, or Abu Ghraib, Ethiopia, or Montreal, Canada. Vancouver, Canada, Tokyo, Japan, Berlin, Germany, Paris, France. You get the idea. No matter where they are, should they acquire assets to build wealth for them and their family, not you. You get a percentage of that, and that's going to help build wealth for you and your family to such a point you wonder why you ever worked. Because because why do you go to work? Let's just get this straight out. Why do you go to work? Why do you get up every day, kiss your children, rush out there, eating a slice of toast while holding it with your teeth, got the coffee in one hand and got your little baby in the other hand, the car keys in the other hand. We're trying to get out there and get everybody to go. Why do you go to work?
Pay bills, make a living.
Because you love the people so much. You want to see your friends. Why do you get out and go to work? Why do you go drive about an hour and sometimes an hour and a half one way in the traffic? Why do you do that? Why do you spend more time there than you spend with your family? Why? Why do you do that?
Make a living.
What do you mean by make a living?
Be able to feed my family, pay bills.
Pay bills. So you do it for cash. You do it for money, right?
I mean, I seriously doubt that the majority of people who go to work every day do it because they love their job.
Yeah, maybe some do, but they still expect to love to get paid. Okay, so here's the thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, what if you could earn the exact same amount of money that you spend all that time doing, or earn more without ever going on someone's job? That's what you could do with Karatbars. Do you know it? Do you know it costs you to work? Fitzgerald, you done fell off the end. No, I ain't. Hear me out. Gasoline. Lunches. Wear and tear on your body. Your time. You got to buy uniforms. You got to buy equipment. You're talking to two outside salespeople here. I have ran cars, not a car. I have ran cars in the ground. I was driving so much, going to client for client. And in mine and Prince Amir's game, you don't get paid for windshield time.
No,
you don't get paid for that. You get paid to make a sale, but you had to go there. A lot of times they want you to use your own car, your own cell phone. They give you a little bit of thing, but man, and when you quit, when the job is done. I've been on jobs and Prince Amir, like the same. We were on vacations staring at this.
Right.
We didn't know if a client was going to call us with a deal. So your mind never could turn off.
Right.
But we're doing the things, and because we had to make a living, and that's honorable to make a living. But you're going to there to make money for your family. But if you can make money by building your own network stream, leveraging other people's time. That's what, creating residual income. In other words, money coming in that you don't have to physically go out and work for it anymore. As long as the production is being done, not necessarily by you. And you're getting paid every Friday, and once a month. As far as that, would you go? Would you still go? Would you throttle back on your hours? Now, some of you guys really love what you do, and that's admirable. That's commendable. That happened one time in my life. That's something I really, really, absolutely was on fire about what I did. And I had some pretty good position. But to really know that feeling like, man, I would do this for free. I was a sophomore in Tuscaloosa. And I had a work study program that I was getting paid to work in the weight room. I love lifting weights. Heck, a lot of times they was paying me. I was working out myself. I mean, did that for free, but that's the only time I've ever known what it would do, what it meant to loving something, what I do. And God, I was a 21-year-old kid back then, maybe 22, 21. That was the only time. Now I've had great jobs and I had some things, but like I used to, now it gets to the point like, oh man, I got to go again. God, I'm tired. Not necessarily the people were crazy or the situation. My body was tired. And I was like, man, I wouldn't mind going to go see my parents. I haven't seen my parents in a couple of years. But I was tied to this job. I was tied to someone else's system, and I had to adhere to their rules, which is nothing wrong with that. It's their system, and I agree to work in their system until I figure out how do I put a system together of my own, not only where I can have economic freedom, but more importantly, I can have time freedom. And if you don't have economic freedom, it's impossible to have time freedom, because you buy your time. And so this is what Karatbars does for you. This is just a short end, the short end for us for it. You register your account. You're gonna you register your account like 7 minutes. Hopefully we're talking like some people who we used to talk to. They like, okay, Fitzgerald, I already got this account registered up. What's my next step? Okay, click on the email, verify your account. You're going to get that from Karatbars. And then next step after that, give me a call. 1-716-573-6296. 1-716-573-6296. I'll be happy to introduce you to that man, Michael Delco. I'll be happy to introduce you to some of the other leaders. There's way more voices and more powerful in this thing than just mine. I'm just a voice. I can introduce you to some people. You will learn that those people are dedicated to helping you and your family build wealth, and they won't charge you a dime. After that, we can plug you into the wealth building system that's created by Mr. Best, that does all the training for you for free. It shows you how to build a business for free. You don't have to go down to the store and on the website and spend $250 for this learning package. Mr. Best doesn't do that, although he easily could. You'll have access to me, access to Prince Amir. And all we're concerned, we're going to do a goal statement, see what you guys want, see what your income goals is, see what things, and we help put your plan together to do it. And we're going to work with you just like Mr. Delco worked for us. Just like we don't work for us to show us how to get where we are. And by far, Dynask and I can tell you, we haven't replaced them. We still depend on that counsel. Prince Dynask Amir, he helped close to 660 people. 660 people who have personally said yes and agreed to come in business with him personally. So as Mr. Delco put it, that's 660 possible income streams that he has. 660. That's very significant. And that's very significant and stuff. And so understand like this, the economy is not going to get any better, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
I think the gloves going to take off. I think the gloves are going to, why I think COVID is a little bit quiet right now?
Why is that?
Now, I just thought of this, Prince, and you're the first one I'm hearing saying this, along with the whole audience around it. I think it's a little bit quiet right now, especially in the United States, which leads the world and nation in worlds and cases. We got a presidential election coming up.
Right.
Man, we got a presidential election coming up. Well, what that got to do with everything? Everything. I mean, will the real numbers keep being released out? I mean, that would help the up and coming candidate, who wants to get in. If all that news is, that would go against the incumbent who's already in. So, politics is a brutal game. So they do a lot of flaking and shaking in that. So I think after it's really done, and whoever is the victor of this election, I think the glove's going to come off, man. I think it's going to get more restrictions, not less, Prince. I think a lot of things. We worried about a football game. We worried about March Madness, man. People are concerned about putting food on the table. I think it's going to be much tougher. I think the wealth gap is going to go like that, and I think it's going to be. I think food banks are going to be pressed. I think after school programs, a lot of them are going to be eliminated. I think a lot of shelters are going to have to be closed down. Why? Because people need help. Absolutely. It's just people won't have much of the resources to keep giving. I think we're going to see a lot of corporate sponsors start retracting their ad dollars. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff. Prince, you know that, man. You know that you're an athlete. So you know what's going to happen. What happens with what happens when corporate sponsors start pulling away their money from these venues? What happens? No. So as Michael Delco taught me, and I certainly second it, what you need to be concerned is about the economy of your own home. That's number one. That's number one. You want to be in a position where you don't care who wins the presidential election. Like Fitzgerald, you got to get, man, I don't care. No, I detest politics. I mean, I don't care what side it is. I'm concerned about the economy of my home, because at the end of the day, I learned that they work for their donors. They work for their people, their supporters who backing them. people who put him in office. How else do you explain the lady a lady DeVos, who incidentally her family owns this little network company called Amway.
Mm-hmm.
They own the Orlando Magic down here in Orlando. It's made big time money in this thing. She contributes. No, she's director of Secretary of Education. What experience? Well, we ain't asking about this cat. Leroy, a guy who's running the post office right now, just got up there, a donor. But with a lot of things like that, it's who's connected. But meanwhile, the people are suffering. So there's the only thing that most of the people are put for is that we want your vote. After that, you're on your own. We don't got what we got from you. Right. That's the reality of it. And so now what they're talking about now, well, maybe Social Security is not going to be here, which is probably true because that's been robbed. But my point is this: you can't depend upon politicians to take care of you. You can't depend upon anyone to take care of you. That belongs to you. And in order to take care of you, you have to build a system of wealth, because not only you're not going to want what you're going to do, not what you have to do to earn a living, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. Perfect case in point. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, dang, I hate going upstairs. I used to hear like only people talk about it. I don't like going upstairs. I want to get me a nice ranch or get me a master on a man. I don't like stairs anymore. I'm in great health. I don't like to deal with it. I'm like, so it occurred to me, dang, man, you know what? You're 55 years old. Is that you talking like some of them old cats used to talk? But I just don't like stairs. I don't like getting up under my car and changing the oil anymore. I don't like doing I don't like cutting my own grass. I used to love these things. It's not that I can't, I just don't want to bother. Okay. And so it's going to come a time you're not going to want to run up and down the highway. You're not going to want to put up with that traffic and that stress all the time. You're going to want to be free. You're going to want to have your time and have enough income where you can just drink lemonade on your patio or be with your family how you want to do. You're just not going to want, as our Caribbean brothers say, the aggravation.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to want it. But you have to buy yourself out the aggravation. So that's what we do with Karatbars. It's all out there, and shift is happening. Change is inevitable, ladies and gentlemen. Change is inevitable. We used to be on the gold standard to start the country. The world was on that. Then someone came up with a brilliant idea. Let's print some colored paper money. They call it fiat currency. A lot of politicians really were against that because they knew what it had the power to do. If you give power over people to print your money, they own you. There's a guy named Voltaire. He's a French economist. He said, ultimately, paper money or fiat currency, what he said, what is known, will return back to its intrinsic value of zero. Keep that in mind. So someone came up with that. Then someone came up. I tell you what, we'll make it where you can write a check. You can deposit the money in our bank, and then we'll cover that check. Provided you got the bank to cover it, the money to cover it, and it's good if you got the money. Don't it sounds good. Then you start seeing like the 60s. People came up. Okay, let's do the store credit card. So we'll swipe a piece of traffic. It's attached to the bank because the banks were looking ways to increase their profits. So they charge interest on this stuff with things things you purchase. That's why you don't even want to deal with credit cards, not unless you can pay it off at the end of the month, because the interest rate is going to be loan sharkish for the most part, especially if you're poor, which is another thing. The poorer you are, the more it costs you to live.
All right.
You're going to pay higher interest rates. You're going to pay higher mortgage rates. You're going to pay higher points on loans. All that. Just because you're poor. It's a penalty for being poor. So we go to the 70s, and all of a sudden there was this cat in there named Richard Nixon. You know what? I'm going to suspend the U.S. off the gold standard. I forgot to say about 1913, when Woodrow Wilson, decided he's going to allow the Federal Reserve to come print your money. Now we're looking at, and that was a disaster and still being a disaster. So Nixon takes us off the gold standard, which was disastrous because what it did, cash used to be backed by the equivalent of gold. And so the world recoiled with that decision because like, hey, there's nothing backing this stuff. It's not worth anything. So I tell you what, you're gonna have to give me more of this to do the same thing for gold. Gold kept running its waist. Gold kept doing what it's doing, just keep going up. Then we get to like the 90s, 2000s, the 2000s. Then we start seeing this advent of Apple Pay. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, they helped create this little application called PayPal. These electronic payment. Then Amazon got into it. Then Google got into it. And then we start seeing. Then this little company came out of Germany by named Karatbars, founded by Dr. Harold Constantine Sykes. He comes up with getting small gold to the masses. He reverts back to the original system. See, Karatbars is nothing new. It's getting gold back into the hands of the people the way it should be. Then some cat came up. I tell you what, let's get into cryptocurrency. I tell you what, there's this game token. I'm going to call it Bitcoin. Right. You can get about 5 cents right now. None but a few very people. Yeah, you can get about 5 cents. We use it to trade games on Facebook, trade for things. The very few people saw this coming. Because I'm older now. I'm like, no. I've been programmed with credit cards, cash, and stuff like that. You see how my thinking cost me millions? Right. Because I didn't understand the stuff was shifting over. By the time I got into it, I can't go out there and buy Bitcoin now $12,000 when it's 5 cents. Mm-hmm. But the people who got in and the people who understood that, they're done. And so that's what you have to be able to shift with the times, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the direction the world is going. Now, you could either go out there and think you're going to retire from a job, or even maybe your mom will hook you up, with a good job. That generation is gone. Prince Amir's mother stayed at one job something like close to 40 years. You can't do that. You can't do that no more. They don't want you there that long. You're not going to be vested. I remember him telling me a story about her, man. She didn't understand how people's, looking for jobs, going out. She didn't the concepts of hunting and competing anymore. Those are gone. A lot of those things are gone. So it's a new economy. And the new economy, ladies and gentlemen, is entrepreneurship. Right. Gold, assets, cryptocurrency, real estate, getting your cash into that, getting your cash working to you, residual income, incorporating the efforts of others, the internet, starting your own home-based business on the internet like Karatbars allows you to do, where you don't have any, you don't have a closed sign because your business is open somewhere around the world 24 hours a day, and you don't have to be there to do it. You don't have to be there to do it. You can make wealth literally while you sleep, which brings me to my conclusion. Warren Buffett has said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will literally work until you die. Mr. Michael Delco has said, if you don't come from a wealthy family needs to come from you. Prince Dinas Samir has said, titles are not sexy, income is. Titles are not sexy, income is. Please let that marinate a little bit. Well, I'm master of the janitorial division. I'm president of the bread club, and I'm, attorneys and lawyers and doctors and stuff. Man, please, Legal Shield. You got cats in Legal Shield, or cats over there in India can draw wills from you, and they could do it for something like maybe $30-something, where attorney want to charge you about like a $2,000. Why do you need them? And so the market is changing, the world has changed, and finally Fitzgerald Stevens says, if you don't make moves will be made on you. You know why the craziness what you see with the unemployment now, Dinas? You know why you see the craziness with the housing situation and people looking for jobs, and how this is one of the most horrific job markets for young college grads coming out now. You know why we're seeing that? Because people didn't make moves, therefore moves are being made on them. Right. They thought they was cool. They didn't think they had to do anything. And so it's not a matter of scare you. I report the news as it is. Your house is burning down. There's a fire coming to your California wildfire star. Maybe you got a little water hose. Maybe you're gonna, wet your house down, and maybe you could wet your ground. But ultimately, it's coming for you. You need to bring in the big planes and something that can bring more stuff than what you're able to deliver. So you need to work for yourself, or you need to build a business while you're already working on your job. You need to be building wealth while you're already working on your job, and you need to be building a shipment. That's the case. You just got to jump on it and go somewhere.
Right.
But you certainly can't leave your future in anyone else's hand. Don Ass, man, I'm not really looking at the comments today, but anything stick out? I'm pretty much well finished, man, and I just try to convey the seriousness because I learned a long time ago, learned a while ago, ladies and gentlemen, I'm what you call an empath. And we feel people. We can't stand to see people hurt. We're very, very sensitive what's going on. We read people very well. We have very, very low tolerance for BS and stuff. Don't mind calling you on that, but we just don't like to see people suffer. We're out there sounding a warning bell. We don't try to take advantage of people. All our job is just to get you the facts and let you make your own decision. But I just don't like to see people hurt. And most people are really, really being crushed by this economy, and particularly when they use the word economy, to simply say, "Hey, my money, my livelihood," and that's what's happening. That's what's going on, and you don't have the economy your own home, man. I mean, I don't know what to say for you. It's just disaster. So, guys, thank you for listening. We'll appreciate your time. Hopefully, it won't rain too much down in Tampa. It's been that hurricane looked like it passed us down there. Thank the Lord for that. But we got
it's up to a category 4 now, and it's about to hit that Louisiana, Texas area.
Yeah. So Tampa is right on that western coast, so it did a veer over to Louisiana, and I hope they don't get like another Katrina situation, man. That's
category 4 right now.
Category 4 is nothing to be strong. We have affiliates out there in New Orleans.
Right.
Queen T and her husband, Peter's out there in New Orleans. So I would like to give her a call to check on to see how she's doing, as far as with that. But ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. I have so much appreciation and respect for all you guys, because you don't have to come over here and listen. How do you get good at this? You got to get resources. How do you get good at talking to people? Well, one staring you right in the face right now. Get off and cold call. Those are tools to show you how to develop your skills to talk to people. You're going to need that. Learn the skills. Call us. We'll help you through that. But we'll just go ahead and learn what you don't know. In order to go where you want to go. Share this channel. Share this channel with others. Become a subscriber of Prince Amir. He puts on a lot of good content. I am a big fan of it. When watching shows and far as because he puts dynamic content so get around people who are in the wealth game, people associations, get around people who want to show you how to build for you and your family. People ain't interested in talking about what Manchester United or the Lakers or any other sports teams are doing. That don't put no money in your pocket. People who are talking about building wealth and showing you how to grow wealth, and as Mr. Delco did yesterday when he's talking about that little tip he broke off for the credit cards and stuff. You need to learn these things, and you need to be able to teach them to your children, because I assure you that the school system is not going to teach them. They're going to teach them how to work for people. They're going to teach them how to be on someone else's plantation, as we often get that. So much respect to you guys, and I mean it. I'm deliberately not watching the comments this time. I'll let Prince Amir on that, because sometimes we get some comments that are just not cool, as far as what. So I'm just doing it like this and just talking to you guys. But what's the old funny adage on what was Jerry Maguire? Besides show me the money, help me to help you. Help us to help you. Hey, Prince, I'm out of here, man. And
all right, hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. And once again, in order to sign up for Karatbars, my affiliate links in the chat room. Again, my affiliate links in the chat room. Click on that affiliate link. Sign up as an affiliate. Is also scrolling at the bottom of the ticker of the screen, and then it's also in the description. Until next time, family, Dynasty Search for Huru. Peace.